Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Vignette podcast. Josh with Paparazzi Imaging and Films, and we're here at the Skullquist Racing facility, like in episode 2. What? You threw a hand.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, we're here at the Skullquist Racing Team facility, and as you can see, we have Drew Freeland on the show. This is episode 17, so let's get into it. So last year you had a breakthrough moment in the Pro-Lite division. You jumped up right into Pro-Lite at the end of the season, yeah, and you took the win on the last day. How was that?
Yeah, it was crazy, honestly. The day before I had moved up, and I really didn't know like where I was going to finish. I had no expectation of where I was going to be at. And I was in the back row the first day, and I think I ended up like 7th. So going into that second day, I kind of wanted to one-up it, and my goal was to get a top 5. I was going to be happy with the top 5. And I qualified well, and then, I don't know, one thing led to another. I ended up with a decent start, and there was a lot of commotion in that race. A lot of people went down, and mechanical failures, and I don't know, you have to be the last one standing, I guess, if you want to win. So kind of feels like a Chase Sexton, Eli Tomac kind of thing on a smaller scale, but yeah, just stayed in it till the end, I guess.
Yeah, that was a pretty insane race. The warmth of the weekend, the track conditions, it didn't really play into favor with any other teams besides like you and a couple other guys.
Yeah, the mud sucked. It was not fun. And there was like one point down the downhill, I like landed in a hole and like the skis hooked in the mud. And I'm sure you can find a video somewhere, but like I did a full Superman down the hill, and that's when Creighton Dillon passed me. But like I thought I had crashed, like fourth lap in or something. It was horrible.
Jeez.
And those races are long. Like our sport finals were 5 minutes, and the Pro-Lites are 8, so it doesn't seem like it's that much more, but it feels like a marathon. It's crazy.
And you're probably just like, come on, white flag, white flag.
Yep, let's be done.
Yeah, for real.
Just move on.
Yeah, and your gear was completely
trashed.
Yeah, trashed.
Yep.
Did you end up throwing your gear out after that weekend, or did you try to clean it up?
It's perfectly clean now.
Yeah?
Yep, comes perfectly clean. It's hanging up, actually.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you have to hang that one up because that's like...
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good victory for you. And, you know, I really haven't watched your sport races coming up, but how was your career in sport class?
Yeah, it was... I mean, I was in sport a little longer than I would have liked. The first 2 years that I was in sport class...
Hopefully not as long as Brian Peterson.
A little bit shorter than Brian
That
Peterson.
Dude's a G, by the way.
Yeah, I was like 4 years in sport class. The first 2 years... Well, actually, when I was 14, I ran 14, 15, 16, 17 in Sport-Lite. And the last race of the year in Lake Geneva, I bumped up to sport, and I got 3rd that race. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of another cool thing. That was back on Arctic Cats. And then we switched to Ski-Doo the year after, and I mostly focused on Sport-Lite that year, and I think I was 2nd in the championship. And I did like half of the sport races, and I think I got 1 podium. But it was just kind of a struggle for us when we switched to Ski-Doo. Privateer, like we didn't have any help from anybody. Fully on our own, like we didn't know anything. So obviously we had our issues there, but overall the switch was good. Then the year after that, I got a win and I think 2 other podiums. It was a good year. And then my 3rd year in sport, I broke both of my collarbones coming in, so I only raced the last half of the year. And then last year would have been my 4th season in sport, and that was my best one. That was a good one.
Geez, so it was a lot of like figuring stuff out after the major switch from Cat.
Yep. And yeah, we were with Arctic Cat pretty much my whole junior career. They were really good to us. But then after all their budgeting stuff happened, it was hard to stay with them because, they didn't even make a new snowmobile.
Yeah.
So that's when we reached out to Kerry, and that's when we made the switch to Ski-Doo. And I'm so grateful to be on Ski-Doo. It's a great opportunity. It's a great place to be. The sled's awesome, and I mean, we've got a sweet team here now, which was fun to be on. And yeah, it was a little bit of a struggle switching to Ski-Doo, just because like we were on our own and we didn't know anything, and it was just me and my dad. And like my dad grew up on a farm, so he knows how to like mechanically work on things, but like he never raced snowmobiles. And when I was 13, we would just buy a snowmobile and race. Like we didn't touch anything. But when you get to sport class, you know, you start crashing bigger and breaking parts, and then you start to learn like what actually you have to change and fix. And so it was just a little bit of an adjustment for us.
But now you figured it out. With Skullquist, you got your first Pro-Lite victory.
Yep.
And how was that feeling when you actually knowing that you were going to cross the line in front of all the big dudes that were coming up? Like you passed, well, besides the sled malfunctions, you passed the two Levi boys there.
Yep. Topi Posty.
Yeah, you passed.
Other guys like that.
Yeah. So how was that? And you threw a fist pump right in the air right there, which I got. If you guys haven't seen it.
That was a great feeling. It was, you know, like we had a good season all year, and it felt good to win in sport class. But like when you get to Pro-Lite, now you're professional, and that's when people start watching you. And like for me, there was like a lot of hard years where I didn't necessarily get the results that I feel like I should have been having, just because of we didn't know anything, right? And we were just learning all together. So it was kind of a struggle for a little bit, and to kind of have it all pay off. And, you know, like we got the opportunity here with Alan and to kind of start this team, and Levi helping, and it kind of all came together last year, and all the hard work kind of finally paid off. And the last 4 years have showed now, and it was fun. It was a good feeling once we crossed the finish line in Pro-Lite with the win, and it was cool. Like everyone from Ski-Doo, all the high ups, they came and talked to me and said hi, and it was nice to meet those guys. And so now I just kind of feel like I fit in, you know?
Yeah. One big family, one big Ski-Doo family.
Yep,
now you just gotta
keep going.
Yeah, keep going and become a Canadian. But how is the atmosphere here at the Skullquist Racing team? Like with Levi coming over from Henches, working with Peter Narsa, you know, having Alan and having all the tools at your fingertips of whatever you guys got to do. You know, in the wintertime, you guys have the practice track, so you don't have to go to ERX. You don't have to go up to Aurora. You know, how is that whole deal?
Yeah, so this whole thing kind of started 2 years ago when I got hurt and broke my collarbones. I had talked to Al at Canterbury. I was just sitting there watching because I couldn't race. And he was telling me how he just started this facility out here and got snow guns and a groomer, but he didn't have time with work to come out and do it. So he asked, like, hey, can you come out and work on the track and help my boys ride and stuff? So that was 2 years ago. I was out here. I was kind of like the track builder. And, you know, we were just kind of getting our feet wet and kind of learning how all this went. And Al has a great facility here. We have literally everything. The track, the shop, everything is all in one spot. So it's like a perfect setup. And then last year, Al wanted to help me after I helped him. So that's when we kind of started the whole race team thing. And Al wanted to hire me a mechanic just to help. And then one thing leads to another, and you kind of know how it goes. But then we get Levi and Peter, and it was big. But the atmosphere here, like Al's big thing was he kind of wants this to be fun and family, because none of us are here. We're not making money off of this, right? Like it's a big expense for everybody. So if we're going to do this, we want to be fun and we want to treat each other well. And like, he didn't want to be like one of those factory teams that it's like a stale environment and everyone's so serious. Like he wanted to come and have fun, right? So for him, being like a family thing was big for him, right? So it's his family, and then me and my brother and my dad, our family. And then we had Peter here last year, and Peter has Alina and Colin, his wife and kid. And so it was kind of like three big families here. And we were all like, we had a great time. We worked well together. it was really good for me to meet Peter. Peter was a great guy, hardworking man. He taught me a lot last year, and it was fun hanging out here in the shop. I love his little son, Colin. Colin is great. So we spent a lot of time here, and Peter and his family, they lived in the shop here last year. So we were basically together all day, every day, all winter. So it was good. It was fun.
And then what did you take away from Peter being here as far as like an athlete yourself? Because he is an X Games, snowcross winner, gold medalist. So what attributes did you take away from him while he was here? Because that's big to have a pro rider, and you can kind of look up to that.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of what I learned last year from Peter was in the shop, like he kind of helped me a lot. He was really good with suspension, so he kind of helped me learn how to test suspension and find out what's good and what's bad. And because before that, I used to just run stock, like I didn't know anything. So that was big, and Levi helped a lot with that. But no, Peter taught me a lot between like hard work, working out, and training. But then out on the track, like when we're out there, you got to focus and you got to put your mind to it and like push yourself. And a lot of it was when you're out there, like he was good with line choice and that kind of stuff. Like he helped me a lot learning, okay, let's not go here, let's go here, and that kind of things. And Peter was good at making track, so he taught me a lot about that too. Just mixing it up, but a lot of it was you still have to have fun out there. Like if you just treat this as a job and you go out there and you don't enjoy it, it's not going to be fun and you're not going to get the results you want.
And you're young and hungry, and I'm sure that helped him too, because you guys are young guns. You guys want it just as bad as he does.
Right.
And now that you're moving up to Pro-Lite, it's like, all right, now I got to take what he taught me and put it out on the track.
Yep, exactly.
And I'm sure that helped you get that Pro-Lite win, right?
Oh, 100%, yes. I could not have done anything that I did last year without Peter. He helped me so much. And it's hard to like explain kind of, but a lot of it was like even just mindset he helped me with. Mm-hmm. So I'm super thankful having Peter around, and I'm really glad we got that opportunity.
Yeah, is he still going to – I do believe Levi said that he's going to be coming here a few times in the wintertime. Is that correct? Just to visit?
Honestly, I have no idea. I know he talked about it, like coming back a couple times. I really hope he does. I miss Peter. I want to see him again. That'd be fun.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that'd be good if he comes.
Is he going to be currently racing, or was that one race in Europe his last one?
I believe that he is going to race some in Europe, but not anymore here, obviously.
Yeah. That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So with the big announcement of Elias signing with you guys, what's your take on that?
It's going to be different, I guess.
More serious or more laid back, or a mix of the two?
To be honest,
because that dude is...
He's intense.
He's intense.
I've only met Elias a few times, and he came around last year a little bit to hang out. So I got to know him a little bit, but I've never really got to like spend time with just Elias or seen him around the racetrack. So I don't know what he's like, so I'm sure we will learn. But from what I've heard, he's very serious, and like he likes to have fun, but he comes here and it's his job. So like he's here for one thing, and that's to win. So I'm excited to learn from him about that, and I'm sure everything I learned last year from Peter will be the same and continue to learn from Elias.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. The intensity is going to be wild.
Yes.
Very wild.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys are going to be wrenching 10 times as more on stuff. Because just his riding style, like if you look at Tucker Hibbert, it seemed like
very smooth.
Very smooth.
Elias just kind of sends it.
Yeah, 110%. And like you're a taller guy too,
Yep.
Taller guys tend to, like you said, be more smooth. They don't really like maneuver the sled a whole bunch, but a shorter guy, you have to work the sled.
Yep.
Is that like your kind of style too? you see him?
Honestly, last year my style changed a lot with Levi and Peter kind of learning. They helped me a lot with my technique and style, and it kind of changed me. I feel like I was more kind of like Elias, just kind of sending it, and I ended up crashing a lot. And last year they kind of helped me like slow down and be more of a smoother rider, which I think helped me. But I mean, obviously it works for Elias, 5-time champion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
100%. He's got to be freaking jacked. You know, I've never seen him outside of gear. I've only seen him in race gear. Well, besides like the banquet and stuff, but you know, he's probably got to put some work into the gym.
Yeah, Elias, he's strong.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm excited. It'll be fun.
100%. And you get to race or ride and practice with 5-time champ.
Yeah.
How many people get to say that?
Hopefully I don't get lapped.
Hey, if you do, at least you could follow his lines and stuff and learn.
For 2 corners, yeah.
Yeah, for 2 corners. Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
Hopefully by the end of the year, like 4 corners.
Jeez.
Maybe not. We'll see. Maybe it'll be better.
Yeah. So are you guys will be in your own trailer and then he'll be in the big trailer?
Yep, so Elias will be out of the semi, and then me and Brady, we have a trailer, and then AJ and Wyatt have their trailer too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Yep. 3 trailers.
3 trailers.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
It works good, though, because we all have a lot of space. So.
Yeah. What is it, like a 48 foot or something like that?
Our trailer?
Yeah, like...
we have a 24-foot stacker.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. And then you guys haul
Double-decker.
the RV with it.
Yep.
Yeah. That's pretty nice, though.
Yeah, it's a nice rig.
Dang. So are you ready for the season?
I will be.
Yeah. I know you've been doing a lot of you ride dirt bikes here and there, but you don't do like every single weekend, right?
Yeah, I try to ride during the week and practice, but haven't done a lot of racing this summer.
Mm-hmm. But you did go to Loretta's with Emmerich?
Yep, I was at Loretta's with Emmerich. That was a fun experience. He did very well there.
Even in the mud?
So there was one race. It was the class he was sitting pretty well in, and comes around like the first corner and he was buried, and then the second corner he went down, and it was muddy, so I didn't see him, and I'm like looking around. I watched for like 2 laps. I'm like, where did Emmerich go?
Right.
And then I look over and he's pushing his bike back.
Oh no.
And like the throttle snapped and whatever. I don't know. And the carburetor like injection thing popped off. And I didn't see that, so I went back and started washing the bike, and I guess I washed a bunch of mud and water into the engine.
Oh no.
So yeah, that was a process. And then he had a race again, so brought it to Yamaha, and they did a full engine rebuild on that thing. A new cylinder head, everything. In like 30 minutes, they had a new engine in it. Called 2 minutes at the start line, and then there was like a 10-minute rain delay. And he got back on the start line.
Wow.
Made it work.
Wow.
Yeah, it was close, though.
Mother Nature was on his side then, huh?
Yeah, that helped.
Jeez.
But, man, it was raining for like 4 days straight. It was not fun.
Yeah, it seems like every year it happens at Loretta's that it rains for the...
Yeah, it rains a little bit.
For the big race.
Yeah. Well, it's a week long, so it's like, I feel like most years there's at least one day that's rainy, but this was like the worst one they've had in a long time, and they had to like cut laps a bunch, and they almost didn't get the third moto in. It was crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was wild.
3 motos.
Yep, so it's 3 motos down at Loretta's for every class.
How the
6
heck do you
days
get
of
it
racing.
overall? Oh, so it's like one day you do 1 moto. Second day, okay.
Yep.
But then how do you figure out overalls? Because that's a lot of...
Whoever gets the best out of 3 motos, I guess.
Oh, so it's like rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's intense. How was that being a mechanic for Emmerich?
It was fun.
Yeah?
It was a good experience. It was fun.
Different?
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I mean, everyone is so, like, it's hard to make it there. So when you get there, everyone takes it so seriously. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, like, wild. And then you have to go up to the like starting line almost an hour before your race, and it's 100 degrees, so you sit there in the heat and
No way.
it sucks.
No way.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's fun, but it's not that fun.
It's like one of those on the bucket list. All right, I did it.
Yep.
Done.
Okay. Yep. Now it's raining and hot, and I want to go home.
Well,
and you're
at
there
least-
for 2 weeks, so it's like
Yeah, that is too long, man. That is too long.
I like
it-
going for a weekend.
Yeah, for sure. And a whole bunch of snowcross guys went too.
Yeah, there was a lot of snowcross guys that made it this year.
Yeah.
We were all kind of like parked in the same area, so it was fun.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Who all made it? I know Dom Hegman went down, right?
Yep. Tanner Johnson.
Yep.
There's more, but I don't remember. I think Emmerich and Tanner and Dom were like the snowcross kids.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was a lot of like my moto friends from Minnesota that made it too.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's sweet. So do you plan on through your career to race Loretta's?
So I did it once, not this year, but last year.
Okay.
And then I tried again this year, but I just was not prepared enough. So I would like to try and go again next year. The first year I went was in C class, and then now I have to bump up to B. And like,
Is it because an age thing?
no, but once you qualify for Loretta's in C class, you like get kicked out of C class forever.
Weird.
Yeah. So now you have to race B class, and it seems like everyone who races B class does this full round and like year round.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like another level to get there.
No way.
Yeah, it's tricky.
That's a lot of. That is I don't know, a lot of seat time from, because you do snowcross and
Yep.
then you do moto in the summertime.
Yep.
That's like a full-time job, but that's also a lot on the body.
Yeah, it is. Well, and then like after snowcross, like it's a long season, and by the end of it, you're over it.
Yeah.
So like last year, I didn't want to do anything for like over a month. I just hung out and whatever, like I didn't want to ride.
You were just a kid.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I just wanted to be a kid for a while because it was like 8 months of grinding
Right.
for snowmobiles. So then it's like, oh, okay, I don't want to do anything for a month. And then you're like, oh, wait, the qualifier's in 2 weeks.
I'm not even ready.
No, so I started riding for like 2 weeks. And yeah, you kind of have to like, if you want to do it, you kind of have to start early and be ready for it, especially in the B class.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even. A class is probably just a whole different level.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even be able to do snowcross, I don't think, if you did A class. You'd have to choose
I mean,
between, because
yeah,
you'd
pretty
have to
much.
go down to Florida, you'd have to go down south
Exactly.
to ride in the wintertime.
Yeah. It's, unless you like if you're 25 and you've always rode, then you're kind of there. But
Yeah. True.
like I rode dirt bikes when I was a kid, but then I stopped riding for like 3 or 4 years, and then I just kind of started riding again for the last 3 years. So I'm not very good on a dirt bike.
Yeah, well,
Just do it for fun.
yeah, it's good cross training.
Yep,
for
stay in shape, and I enjoy it. So
Yeah, that's
It's
good.
good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I always see you. Well, I haven't been to BCMX in a while, but I've always seen you here and there at BCMX
Yeah.
riding.
yeah,
which
it's a
is
fun
kinda cool.
place.
Yeah, and I'm sure that track, because it's kind of got that sandy, loamy kind of
Yep,
dirt,
yep.
that helps with the riding.
Yeah, it's fun.
Because that's almost like snow, but not really. You'd have to go to Southwick to ride anything.
Dirt bikes and snowmobiles are so different that it helps, but it doesn't really help. I don't know.
Well,
It like the crossover is there, but it's not the same.
right. Well, compared weight to weight, you are what, 200, 300 pounds less on a dirt bike than you on a snowmobile?
Yeah, probably.
Because the sled is like 600-700 pounds. 600
Yeah.
pounds, I think.
I think around 600.
Yeah.
And a dirt
and a
bike's
dirt
are
bike's
like
what,
300,
yeah.
250.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. So it's like half the weight
Maybe
And
you should
it's-
just ride quads. Didn't you ride quads at one time?
for like 2 weeks.
Who in your friend group?
Eli Epling
That's-
rode quads
that's
a
who it
lot.
was.
He raced quads for a long time,
Yeah.
and then he killed himself.
What?
So now he rides dirt bikes.
How did he kill him? Oh, what, he just wad up?
Yeah, and then the four-wheeler hits you, and it's a big deal.
I know. I used to race quads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big quad guy. And then I ride pit bikes for the heck of it.
Yeah.
But so with your racing career, what's the next thing for you? Like, what's the next obstacle besides getting that Pro-Lite win that we kind of keep going back to?
Obviously, this year being full-time in Pro-Lite class, it'll be a lot different. Kind of takes it from, to me, it seems like when you're in sport class and below, it's like you're kind of with your family, just going for the weekends, having fun. But then you kind of get to a point where it's like it almost turns into a job. And I kind of feel like I'm at that point now. So I still need to try and have fun with this because the only reason we're in this is to have fun. Mm-hmm. But obviously I want to try and compete this year in Pro-Lite. And I showed last year that I can run up front, and I would like to continue to show that I can be somewhere up there.
I don't know if you showed. I think you really put a freaking target on your back, man. You
hope not.
You really put some damage down.
Yeah, well.
But really it was, the field was going down, and you were there to jump on the opportunity.
Yep, exactly.
But still, everybody was like, did you see Drew Freeland? That dude was an animal out there.
It was good. And over the summer, a lot changes. You don't know who is starting to train harder, and like a lot can change from the last race last year to the first race this upcoming season. So like a lot of times it can just be some person that you don't know about that can win, right? Like I kind of look back to Pro-Lite like a couple of years ago, Adam Peterson. It's not like he didn't do well the year before, but the year he won the championship, he kind of like went from not being a nobody, but like he wasn't a race winner every weekend, and then he was there every weekend and he won the championship by a lot,
Yeah. I don't even remember him winning the championship, honestly.
Yeah, it's like
I got to go back and watch it.
3-4 years ago, I think.
Okay.
I think it was 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was what? 2020?
I think
during COVID?
I believe it was the year like before Jordan won. So Jordan won the last 2 seasons, and then I think he was the year before that.
Okay.
I think it would have been 21.
21.
I believe. So like, but for example, like you don't know, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it could be someone that was a top 5 guy last year that shows up and just wins every race. It could be me or Creighton from the sport class. It could be you don't know.
Right.
There's so many guys, and a lot of people this year it seems like are moving around and changing brands, and someone might not like their new brand and some might love their new brand, and it could, a lot of racing is just like your comfortability out there. Like if you're not comfortable, you're not going to be able to push yourself and go fast. So maybe the new sled this year, I don't know what's new on the new Ski-Doo, but maybe it's great, maybe it's not good. I don't know. But if this sled is great, it should be great. It was great last year. So that could help all of us Ski-Doo riders. Maybe the new Polaris is good. I don't know. It's just you don't know who's going to win until the first race, until the last race, really. But
right. Yeah, it's interesting how all that works when it comes to lining up. Like you said, you never know who's going to be a top contender, who's not.
You always have an idea of who's going to be up there. And you
but what if you get that freaking that white rhino that comes out of nowhere?
Yep. And then halfway through the year, someone could have won every single race, and then maybe they get hurt.
Yeah.
Now there's someone else.
Right.
So you don't know until the last race of the year. Right. It's not over until it's over.
Yeah, 100%. And what's your feeling on Creighton Dillon? Because you're going to be racing him, and he's fast.
Yeah.
He's hungry.
He was a good competition last year, and I'm sure it's going to be pretty similar to last year, but hopefully I can one-up him a little bit.
There you go. Well, I think you already did, but
we'll see. It'll be fun. It'll be a good winter. I'm excited.
Yeah, 100%. What race are you looking forward to most? I know the schedule hasn't come out yet. It'll be coming out this weekend, but yeah, what venue are you looking forward to?
I've kind of always been a fan of like the ski hill tracks. I like the longer, more motocross tracks.
Like Geneva?
Like Geneva is a fun one.
Yeah.
Iowa was good last year. Cannonsburg in Michigan, I like that. I like that style more than like a Deadwood track where it's super short and the lap is 20 seconds long.
Mm-hmm.
That seems, I don't know. It's still fun racing, but I more prefer the big tracks.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Have you heard any rumors on where we're going?
Kind of, sort of, I don't know. A lot of people think they know what's going on, and then it's not, so
Yeah.
I really don't know. But I know that Lake Geneva is one of my favorite tracks, so I hope we end up going back there.
I think that's the rumor that we're going back there.
That would be sweet.
Yeah.
I like that place.
I like that one too, just from, like you said, it is very snowcrossy, very supercrossy type style track, and it really shows, how much the athletes train and how much attrition they have, because it is a bigger taxing track.
Exactly. A track like Deadwood, it's a lot easier to get the whole shot and just take the inside line everywhere and not get past, right?
Unless there's a whole bunch of lappers.
There's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, a track more like Lake Geneva, it's longer and it's wider most of the time, and you have to pay attention. There's a lot of different lines you can choose from, and one line could save you half a second every lap, and that's the difference between third and first. So It's little things like that on a big track like Lake Geneva, there's more options, and those options are what helps you.
Yeah, 100%.
And it kind of separates the people who are the men from the boys.
I was just gonna say, yeah, 100%, 100%. And then, like, what about Duluth?
Duluth was fun. We haven't been there in a little bit, and the last time we were there, it got snowed out or something, I think.
Yeah, we got a big. So it's weird how it all worked because
Yeah.
we raced snowmobiles in
Yeah,
snow
yeah.
and we got snowed out.
Yeah, you couldn't see anything that day.
No,
That
and the
was
snow
crazy.
drifts were like way up above the arches.
We were stuck in the motorhome because the snow went up and almost over the roof. Like a groomer had to come and plow it out and then pull us out.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I know.
But yeah, that track is fun. It's good. I like when there's hills and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Cannonsburg is like iffy because it's all rhythm.
Yeah, that's true. But
That's all it is.
and then we had one straightaway up the hill last year,
Yeah,
which was kind of weird. But
like hill crossy meets snowcross.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Cannonsburg, it's a good
The venue's great.
I feel like there's potential for a better track, but
100%.
I feel like the last couple times we've been there, it's been a struggle for snow.
What was that?
So,
Oh.
hey, Mark. Hopefully, if we go back to Cannonsburg, we have more snow this year, and then we can, however big the track we can have,
Yeah.
bigger the better, I think.
100%. Like Fargo.
Fargo, I liked Fargo. I thought it was cool. There's a lot. It was cold, which sucked, and it was
You
kind of.
race snowmobiles, man.
It was cold, and it was.
That excuse is
It was a
getting
little
old.
icy, but I thought that was fun. How big that track was.
Yeah. For the
There's
last
cool
2
jumps
years.
there, and it's cool. And they use every inch they can, and they're not afraid to blow snow. And it was cool what All Finish did there. That was good.
Yeah, 100%. It sucks that they're closed
Yeah.
down now and everything.
They put a lot into this sport. And,
Yeah.
But-
in 2 short years.
yeah,
I-
that's gonna be one that sucks to have them gone.
Yeah, 100%.
And with them gone, it kind of takes away Articat. They still have Woody's, and the Boss team, but
Oh.
it kind of took away. Articat doesn't really have a factory team now.
Yeah, like you said, you got Woody's, you got Kraychek, but everybody is, those are like the 2 major ones. I did hear that there was going to be another Articat teaming forming, but I don't know if that's really true or not. It was going to be, before the show started, we were talking. I said that Trent Wentworth and Yerk were going to be on it, but I have no idea if that's still a thing. I do have a guy messaging me on Facebook. He was like, I heard Yerk still doesn't have a ride. And I'm like, I don't know where you're getting your information from. I don't know, help me out with your sources. But it's like, yeah.
I have no idea.
Articat is kind of taking the backseat a little bit.
Yeah, and it sucks because without Articat, now there's Ski-Doo and Polaris basically, and there's only so much room for people, right? And then when there's less teams, then there's less pro riders, and we only have 10 pro riders the way it is last year. So I think it'd be sweet if we had 30 pro riders, 40 even. You know,
Yeah.
like
Pro-Lite's the new pro.
basically, yeah. It'd be cool if there was more pros. Like in motocross, there's 100 guys that show up to every pro motocross race to try and qualify, and only 40 get to race.
Right.
So it'd be cool if it was more. We need to be bigger.
Yeah. And not discrediting anybody, but like the series, like snocross or any of the sponsors that help out with the nationals or any of the riders of the teams, but there needs to be more big dollar sponsors involved, you know, to help incentivize people moving up to pro, because really, I don't know the payout ratio. I have no idea what it is, but I'm sure it's, you know, peanuts compared to moto. You know, anything is peanuts compared to moto or super, but there needs to be more of a kickback. Because if you jumped into pro, it would be 10 times the money. It would be 10 times the effort. It would be 10 times the parts, because you have to go faster. Exactly. You have to go really to catch the end of the field. You have to be fast. So realistically, it's a sponsorship deal. You know.
Yep.
I think sponsorship dollars need to be paid a little bit more, or have more people involved, like all finish. Yep. Because that was nice. Everybody was making a little bit of money, but they were also, you know, in pro class. Yerk, Benham, you know, there was a lot. Yeah.
The problem is, like, yeah, we need more bigger sponsors, but to get more bigger sponsors, we need more people watching. Mm-hmm. To get more people watching, we need to have more entertaining racing. To get more entertaining racing, we need more people racing. Mm-hmm. To get more people racing, we need more sponsorship money. Yeah. So it's like a circle kind of, so it's hard to get it to grow.
100%.
I know everyone in the sport is doing everything that they can. I wish there was an easy answer to get it to go from where we are to like the level of Supercross, you know, because like Supercross is huge and everyone knows Supercross, and there's millions and millions of dollars in Supercross. Whereas, I mean, we're 10% of Supercross, really. Yeah. If that.
Well, and we're a fraction of the season.
Yep, exactly.
Of the months. Yep. But like you said, it's a never-ending circle, but snowcross was at the pinnacle at one point. How do we get back there? You know, we had Bud Light sponsoring Boss Racing. We had Yamaha involved, but, you know, Yamaha's pulling out.
That was way before my time.
Yeah, but, you know, Matt Greenwood posts a lot on his page, and it's like he's bringing the history back. Yep. You know, Yamaha had, 15 sleds or 10 sleds lined up in front of their semi at one point. Same with Boss Racing. It's like,
it'd be cool if we were back to that.
I do believe anything is possible. Nothing is impossible, but it's figuring out the way to get back to that point.
Finding the pathway.
Exactly. You know, if we could get Twisted Tea involved,
that'd be cool.
That'd be sweet. You know, in my eyes, I think it's just a marketing thing. Yep. A strategy. How do you, like Flow Racing? They pull what? I don't even know. I couldn't.
Not enough.
Not enough. And we need to get more seats filled at the venues that we go to. So maybe it's and again, I'm not bashing on snowcross by any means, because they do a great job, but it's promoting the weekends and the events and all that stuff. But again, you have more fans in the stands, then that's going to bring in more sponsors, and then that's going to fill, you know, more sponsorship dollars for pro class or Pro-Lite class, whatever the case may be. But finding that avenue is tough, but I think it can be done.
Yeah,
and like, social media is a big target.
Social media is the biggest thing nowadays. And like at Shakopee, I think we need to try to find more events like Shakopee, because if you look, I have no idea how many people that are there, but there's thousands of indoor seating, and it's filled every single year. Yeah. And if we can have 10 races or 8 races like Shakopee, I think that would make our sport way bigger. Yeah. Venues that play into our favor. Right. And like, let's be honest, it's cold outside and nobody wants to go sit outside in the cold. No. Like, it's not nearly as enjoyable. And that's partly why Supercross and motocross is bigger, because it's warm and it's it's easier to go watch. It's more convenient, right? And that's why I think Supercross is bigger than motocross, is because if you're in motocross, you have to go outside and you walk around and it's hot and you're walking, and like if you want to take your family, it's a long day. But if you go to Supercross, you're in a stadium and you have seats, and it's usually climate controlled and there's food right there. Like, and that's kind of a similar situation to Shakopee. Like, you can go buy a ticket, Shakopee, go inside. You can sit inside all day. There's food right there. Like,
You got venue. You got all the vendors there too.
Exactly, and it's easier to go and watch there than like. Even Deadwood's a pretty good place to, like, there's hotels and everything and seating, but it's cold, right? Like, indoor seating is huge. My family, they like to come and watch a lot. Like, my grandparents love watching snowcross, but they don't want to sit outside in the cold.
Right.
So, like, they're always at Shakopee, and a lot of times they come to ERX because they can get indoor seating there. But, like, most of the places we go to, there's not much for indoor seating.
Right. And I'm kind of going back into time now. When Carlson and Layton were around, I was at Salamanca, and they had snowcross had a big, huge white tent, and it was heated on the inside. Like,
and it was packed.
Yeah, it was packed. And if we did that more in snowcross and maybe did like $5 more on a ticket or something like that.
Yep.
And I know some of them are VIPs because they have TVs and they have all the heat, whatever the case may be. But like if we had more things that were enticing the people to go, that would be a winning ticket.
Yep.
You know,
for a hardcore fan, like, they don't care to go out and watch in the cold, like,
right,
because they're into this, right? But there's only so many people that are like that devoted to this. We need to make it easy for the people that are like, oh yeah, let's go watch snowcross for the day. Like, what's this? Never heard of it. Let's go watch, right?
Right.
At Shakopee, people can see it on the news or whatever and go buy a ticket and go show up for the day. And, oh, this is kind of cool. And then maybe they'll get hooked. But if we have 8 races like that and we can constantly be getting new people in, that's how we grow it.
Right. Right.
We need more eyes on it.
100%. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, bring back mods. But you know what? And I love the mod era. The mods
was cool.
It was sick. You know, Tucker Hibbert on the Factory Cat, you know, all the factory players, as Levi working for Henches, whatever the case may be. But I think we're a little bit past that now.
Yep.
But in my eyes, I think the rivalry needs to be intensified between riders on social media, on television.
Kind of feed into it.
Yeah, feed into it, but
create a story.
Exactly. And that, if you look at NASCAR, if you look at any other major sports, they're documenting that stuff and they're putting it out there. But you know, riders are friends outside.
Yep.
You know, but when they're on the track, somebody might trash talk somebody. Get into that
exactly.
shit. You know, and then it's gonna blow up on social media, and then people are gonna be like, "Oh fuck, I want to go see this
Let's
dude."
go watch.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that part needs to be, you know, emphasized a little bit more.
Yep.
Because really, people want to see that crap.
Yeah. Because
why do people go to UFC? Because some dude's getting his head beat in.
Exactly. Yeah.
No.
There's more to just snowcross than snowmobiles going around in a circle, right? Like, to some random person, it looks like we're just snowmobiles going around in a circle. But to all of us on the inside, we know what's going on. We know the battle. We know who likes who is enemies with who. And if like they can emphasize that on social media and kind of play into it and create a story around it, it'll create more people's interest.
Yeah, 100%. Why was Liver King so big? You know, because he was
controversy.
Yeah, exactly. He was doing dumb shit, and he was. I'm not saying lying to the public was good, but he was doing that heavily,
and it worked.
It worked, yeah. But now he's on the decline, and people aren't following him so much. But you know, that is a big winning ticket.
Yep,
big winning ticket. But I'm excited for this season, just from a venue standpoint. I think, like we talked about earlier, a lot of riders are moving up. Evan Doubt just announced yesterday that he moved up to Ski-Doo, and he's going pro.
Oh, yeah, he's in pro.
Yeah,
I didn't see
pro.
that.
Yeah, he's going pro class.
Well, that'd be cool.
So that's one more pro rider.
Yep.
You know, I think Boss Racing wants to get back to their ways of.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, of being a dominant team I guess you could say.
Yep,
They were pretty dominant.
They were good back in the day.
Yeah,
A couple of years ago.
Exactly. They won 2 or 3 championships. 2 with Elias.
I think 3 with Elias.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. But that's cool.
Yep.
That's cool. Hopefully we see that class grow.
Yep.
Pro-Lite is freaking stacked. I can't wait to see Pro-Lite or sport. I mean,
Yep.
because that's going to be good. So
That'll be
it should definitely be a fun year.
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be good.
Have you heard anything about Valcourt?
A little bit here and there, but we'll find out this weekend, I guess. But I don't really know, like, what is certain, and I've heard a lot of different things, so I don't know what's like the facts,
Right.
But from what I've been told, there's a snowcross race there.
Oh, there's a snowcross race there every year.
Well, like a snowcross race. There.
Yeah. Like a pro invitation, or just a pro race or something like that.
I've heard so many different rumors that I don't know what's.
I guess we'll have to wait and see this weekend.
We will see. Hopefully, it's something cool.
Yeah.
And I hope we have the Dominator again.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Because from a fan standpoint, it's different than, like, even in motocross, like for me, watching a 30-minute moto, if there's not battling, it's kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
So like a 10-minute snowcross final, if someone's just out front winning, like it's not that enjoyable.
Right.
So with the Dominator format, like 2 guys going for it and it's 2 laps, like it's always going to be good racing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is something that I believe that they should continue in the future, like forever.
Oh, and the big MLR send.
That was cool. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, Elon Musk just
To the moon.
Yep. 100%.
That would have been cool if he would have landed that.
Yeah. That dude's
He made it, but
yeah, well, I think the wind took him to the left a little bit, but
Yep,
still.
exactly.
Yeah, he would have.
that was cool.
Yeah, I was there on that face of the jump.
Yep.
And just seeing him go, I was like,
He's way up there.
Holy crap. Yeah, he was up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, SpaceX definitely needs to sponsor him for the next freaking quad.
Yeah.
But the Dominator, and then also the Triple Crown.
Yeah, that was cool. I hope they do a couple of those.
I think they should do the first one in the middle and then at the end.
Yeah, that would be cool. And I don't think you can do that every race, but
No.
it's a different format. But one thing that I don't think they did a very good job last year, kind of like showing the battle of it, right? Like when Peter got third last year at the Triple Crown, and I didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was in third in the race, but I had no idea he was third overall. So I think if they can do a better job, like, oh, this battle right here for 4th and 5th, well, this is the battle for 3rd overall, right?
Yeah.
And then you can kind of, like, we need to feed more into what's going on out there. Like, instead of just snowmobiles going around in a circle, because that's kind of boring. We need to focus on the battles and, like, what you said, the rivalries.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the Triple Crown was cool because, like, you don't know what place you get until the last race, right? Like, the first 2 matter, but the third one is how you win, right?
Right.
You can't win unless you do good in the third one.
Yeah.
So if they can kind of emphasize on, like, showing, I think they need to have a live tally of, like, okay, this is what place they're all in right now, and if this pass gets made, then you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That's a good idea.
for example, in that last race, Peter was 4th, and if he got 3rd,
He would have been
he
second.
would have been 3rd overall.
Oh, 3rd. Okay.
Whatever, but
Yeah.
I think he ended up 3rd, but I didn't even know he was in 3rd.
Right.
When I went back after the race and looked, you can see the points and how it laid out, but
Right.
you don't know during the race. And especially in that third one, like, one pass can make a big difference.
Right. 100%. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Do they do that in Supercross?
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, they talk about it. I don't
yeah.
think they have like a.
They don't have a live thing, but they talk about it.
Yeah.
I didn't hear them talk about it at all.
Huh.
I'm sure they did a little bit, but I think it'd be
They-
cool if they just had, like, on the top they have the running order of who's in what place, but then they should have another one on the bottom, like Elias was going let's say Elias went 1, 2, 3, and he was sitting 2nd overall, and if Cody Cam was 3, 1, 1 or whatever, then if you just showed, like, their places and how they would end up overall,
Right.
and then you can talk about it and be like, okay, if Emil Haar makes his pass from third to second, he gets the overall. But if he doesn't, then Elias gets the overall, or something like that, you know?
Yeah, that'd be wicked.
Yeah.
Because it is very hard to track who's in what
Especially if you don't know anybody. So, like, for an average fan, they have no idea what's going on.
Right.
For you and me, yeah, we know everybody, and we can track, and we've watched all 3 races, and we paid attention, and I'm sure we've wrote down, like, okay, this is what place they all got, and we can do math in our head to figure it out. But again, we need to try to, like, we need to make the experience more enjoyable for a normal, everyday person that's just coming to watch for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then if you do a good job keeping them, like if someone comes and watch for the first time and they enjoy it, they're going to stick around, and then they become a fan of snowcross.
Right.
And then they're the one watching every single race.
Yeah, and then they're going to tell their friend.
Yep,
and then
exactly.
Their friends,
and it grows.
Yeah.
But if someone for the first time comes and watches and they just see snowmobiles going around in a circle and they don't know the story and what's going on, then they may be like, whatever. I'll go watch something else.
Right. Yeah, you got to pull them in, especially in this generation. It's if you don't have them hooked within the first 5 to 10 seconds, it's like
everything is so short.
Yeah.
Like with TikTok and that kind of stuff, everyone's attention is like, if it's not 5 seconds, then whatever.
Right.
I'm bored.
Yeah.
Next.
Yep.
So if they come and they watch one and they're like, whatever. Next.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that, man. That is, I didn't even think about that. Of like having a bracketing system that really makes it easy for the average fan to watch, to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because you do want to have something that's easy. You want it to be easy to understand, but also like interesting at the same time.
Right. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. It has to be entertaining, but if you don't know what's going on, you're not entertained.
Right. Right.
You're just sitting there confused. You're like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and how many people know where Elias is from?
Nobody.
Yeah. They just say that he's from overseas.
Yeah.
You know, like get a profile of him. You want to know about him? Let's talk about it, you know. Or what about this? Like they used to have rides on the groomers. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Like that would be cool to have back, you know, and
one thing I always liked was when the flaggers raced the 200s.
Yeah. They need to bring that back too.
And honestly, I think freestyle would be cool.
See? Yeah, me and Levi talked about that.
Because like there's a lot of braking in snowcross, like when they're grooming or commercial, there's a lot of breaks, right? Mm-hmm. And if we can fill that with something else that's entertaining, like again, for an average fan that's coming to watch, they see a bunch of guys racing in a circle, and I think it's cool with like the 120 champ class, like they can see a bunch of little kids racing, and then you see some guys do backflips, and then you watch the flaggers go and ride.
Yeah, that was so sick.
You know, like the night show of snowcross, it needs to be like a show, like something entertaining to go and watch, not just live racing.
Right.
Because live racing is entertaining for you and me.
Yeah.
But for a normal average person, they like, if they don't know anyone, they're just confused.
Yeah. And then how are they going to go into the pits and be like, hey, you know, I just saw you on TV, but I don't know anything about you. I want to shake your hand and get an autograph. You know, like have a conversation.
Yep.
You know.
And if they feed more into like the people, and if we have, like, they have a lot of commercial breaks, and it's important to show off the people who are sponsoring the sport and stuff, but I think it would be also cool if they, like, maybe in the main chalet, right, they have one TV playing, and it has a 3-minute interview of each person, and it's just on shuffle, right? So it's always showing one person and, like, talking with them a little bit, so you get to know the people.
What about this, too? What about, like, highlighting all the top riders in each class instead of just having a Pro-Lite? You know, like cool. Somebody in sport be like, all right, I don't know who off in the top of my head in sport class is the top guy right now, but highlighting them as being like, all right, we have our eye on this guy. He's going to be a top runner, and maybe next year he'll jump into Pro-Lite and be a top guy. You know, like that would be cool too. And having, you know, the champ guys on, you know, the 200 guys, having them be engaged as well. Yeah, I think, and I don't want to cut you off anymore, but I think snowcross is trying to pack too much into, because they have CBS. And
Yep.
CBS is probably like, hey, you only have this time.
amount of time,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, so I think they're trying to play favor into that as well. But be like, this is our show.
Yep.
You know, we're the premier snowmobile racing, you know, in the United States, and everybody's here to
In the
watch
world,
us.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the world. And we should be able to do whatever we want.
Yep.
You know, you guys are a part of it, filming it, but let us have our time, because we can't just cram in, you know, racing at this time, again, racing at this time, and then have nothing in between as an entertainment standpoint, rather than just having racing,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah, you kind of have to show off like the personalities
Mm-hmm.
so people know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the freestyle thing would be badass.
I think that would
And
be
even
good, too.
having, like, remember Iceman?
Yep, the flagger.
Yeah. That dude was intense.
Yep.
He was fun. He was a good time, and having like that was really cool, and not necessarily like what Ram did, doing like the giveaways, you know, entering into getting a free
Yeah.
truck, you get a free T-shirt. Like, it seems like snowcross has gotten away from that fan standpoint.
Yep.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
And I know that everything involves money and all that crap, but it's like, if you, back to what you said, if you want to have more fan engagement, you need to have more things that are going to be engaging to the fans.
Yep, exactly.
You know, do a giveaway, do the freaking the t-shirt gun.
guns, yeah.
You know, like, it's super simple.
And like they used to, I don't know if they still do it or not, but like they would have the fan of the day and give them an FXR jacket or something.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is cool.
Yeah.
And it's good. I think they still do that.
Yeah, I think they do like a giveaway bag.
Yep.
I don't think they do a jacket anymore. But it's like
still,
got AMS
like,
oil stuff in it and whatever.
But still, to like kind of engage people is cool. Mm-hmm. And I think like, have you ever been to a Supercross race?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know how
Handful.
big their opening ceremonies are with fire and like, I think we can do something cooler with
Yeah.
that. Like, again, it's winter and it's cold, so there's only so much you can do, and
Mm-hmm.
we're not in a stadium. But I feel like we could do something a little cooler, because like at Supercross, it's like crazy. Like the whole stadium's dark and they have fire shooting. And
Yeah.
a spotlight on the guy, and the guy throws a whip, and you know, like I think we can have something cool.
They got the lasers going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even like if you have a ramp off the side of the track and you have to jump the ramp and then you land on the finish line landing or something,
Yeah.
right? Like some big air. Do something cool.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where the freestyle comes in. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, like I think we could have a cooler opening ceremonies, and I think that yeah, like there just needs to be more things for the fan to come and be engaged with and entertained by.
Yes. 100%. And aside from that, if we had a bigger not a bigger show, but like the opening ceremonies, if we had a bigger opening ceremonies, and if we really hyped it up, if Snowcross really hyped it up, and outside sponsors, let's say Monster,
Yep.
you know, they were only sponsoring Henches and Cody Cam at the time, but if they saw the way that Snowcross was doing opening ceremonies or putting on a better show, they would probably be like,
More willing
all
to
right,
sponsor.
yeah, let's go,
Yep.
because that's badass. You know,
Yeah.
thinking outside the box. Supercross is corporate, and they
Yep.
own Super and Outdoors
Yep.
now, or they partner up together or whatever to do the Super Motocross thing or whatever the case may be. But it's like they're always innovating.
Yep, they're always doing new things.
Yeah.
And they're trying.
Yeah, and then they got girls on the podium. You know, they got the whole thing.
Yep.
They got it figured out.
Yeah.
Same with overseas when they do the GPs. You know, they got
those are cool.
They got that figured out too.
Yeah.
So it's just trial and error, but you got to always go forward.
Yep. And it's not like you have to reinvent the wheel. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can see what they're doing with motocross and supercross, and they're obviously doing a good job. And you can even go to other sports, like you can go to UFC, you can go to football. Like
Mm-hmm.
football is like probably the most watched American sport ever. Right? What are they doing that we're not doing?
Yeah, next to baseball. 100%. And even like F1. F1
yeah,
blew
F1
up.
is huge.
Yeah, it blew up because of Netflix. Mm-hmm. Why aren't we on Netflix?
Wow, why don't we have a documentary showing everything?
Right.
Even if you just have 1 2-hour long movie almost,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of highlight how it works. And because like I've seen that F1 documentary and they do a good job of kind of getting into like the technical things and they don't just highlight the racing, right? They highlight the people and the teams, and they show the racing still, but like
It's more so on the inside.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So if we had even if we don't have a series, but if we had one movie at the like to start the year that was from last season, and it kind of showed like, okay, this is how the Pro Championship went down, and you know, like these people are in the rivalry, and now we switched to a Triple Crown format and talk about that, and
Right.
like even if it's just one video,
Right.
and like get something that people can watch before they come watch, that they can be interested in, right?
Right. 100%. Yeah, and I have my documentary, but it's like not nationwide yet.
Right.
You know, I would like it for it to get there, but it needs to slowly build. You know,
Yep.
I do have a fan base when it comes to like everybody following me on social media and, you know, following all the stuff that I do, like yourself, but they should be like, all right, paparazzi is doing this one thing. We need to hone in on that, you know, or the rivalry, or start their own thing. You know, they had a podcast.
Yeah.
Where the hell did the podcast go?
I have no idea.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, they're there for a hot minute and then they're gone.
Yep.
They're trying to, I think, I don't know. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Nor do I want to figure it out, but I would like to help, you know? Because it's cool. Dude, I love snowcross.
Me too.
Snowcross is
the best.
badass, man.
And it really is. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
And it sucks that, like, it's not. I wish that there was triple the amount of people that knew what snowcross is, you know, just so it, like, gets the recognition I feel like it deserves.
100%. 100%. And it's not even just snowcross. It's freaking ice ovals. It's cross country. You know, it's all the avenues of snowmobile racing.
Snowmobiles are cool.
Yeah. Even the Jackson Hole hill climb.
Yeah.
That shit's
is
huge,
cool.
man.
Yeah.
You know, that shit's huge. I don't know a race that is that big aside from snowcross.
Yeah.
You know, like what else is out there? Nothing. Oh, well, you have IWA, but still that's not even that big.
Yeah. I-500.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the I-500. And then what's the Ironman? Is that the I-500 or is that totally different?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think they're two different things.
Yeah, I think there is.
But whatever.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many different things that they can be tapping into. That's wicked. But yeah, we talked about what the next step is for your career, right?
Yep.
And then going into the season. So what are you going to be doing leading up into snowcross from now?
Just got to keep training and ride as much dirt bikes as possible. And, you know, like our sleds get here soon, so we'll start to get that ready. And
Oh, man, that prep is fun.
no. Well, yeah, it is what it is. It's part of it. But, yeah, there's just, like, it's a lot of little stuff, you know, like even just getting our trailer ready, right? Like we got to service all the generator and the motorhome and, you know, like new wheel bearings and that kind of stuff that nobody sees. But
Yeah.
it's all the little things you have to do to get ready. It's a long season and, like, you want to do everything you can now because if something breaks in the cold, it sucks.
Oh, yeah.
To try and fix anything, like, especially if something breaks on the trailer or the motorhome, like out in the cold, it's brutal. And if you're stuck at a race, like something broke on the axle on the semi last year and it was stuck at Fargo for like a week.
Yeah.
After
I
the
remember
race.
SeaTac documented that.
Yeah. You do not want that to happen.
No, absolutely not. And something at that temperature, anything can break, you know?
It gets brittle, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So, what is the one thing that you're not looking forward to with the prep? Putting on graphics?
No, Nick Jackson does the graphics. We're good with that. He does all of that. No, the thing I hate the most is studying tracks.
Oh, yeah, that's so
Not
meticulous.
a fan of studying tracks.
You probably have to put on your headphones and just fucking
Yeah.
not worry about the rest of the world for
Yep.
2.5, 3 hours.
or 2.5 or 3 days.
Yeah, I guess depending on how many you're doing.
Well, we have probably one of the larger teams in snowcross. Like there's 5 of us, and we all have a race sled and a practice sled.
It's
And
10 to 12 sleds. Screw
there's,
that, man.
there's a lot of tracks, and so there's just a lot of things. And like there's 3 of us, so we have like 15 sleds here or something.
Mm-hmm.
And like the whole shop is just full of snowmobiles, and so like if we do one thing, you have to do it 15 times, like just putting handguards on, like you have to put 15 sets of handguards on. It takes hours.
Screw that.
Yeah.
So do you have your own dedicated mechanic this year?
Yep. So Owen Saylor, he helped me like half of last
dude,
year.
that dude's a savage on a bike.
Owen is good on dirt bikes.
He throws down.
Yep. Owen's awesome. So he'll come back and he's gonna help me, and then AJ and Wyatt have a mechanic. His name's Dave. And then Elias will have Richard, and then I think Brady will have a mechanic too. But
Who is Richard? Richard, is he from overseas?
Yep. So he was Oscar Norm's mechanic last year
Gotcha.
on Henches, the Asian guy.
Yeah, the Asian dude.
Yeah,
Short
him.
dude. He
Yep.
walks around like he's...
Yeah. He's funny. I like him. So there's enough help here, and then we have Levi, and there's a lot of hands, but it's just a lot to do, Like we have 5 racers, so there's a lot, So
Yeah.
and because we have 5 racers, we have, instead of most teams might have 1 trailer, maybe 2, we have 3. So it's just like everything is exponential, And then we have the snowcross track out back, so we have to get the groomer ready and the dozer and all the snow guns and all that stuff. So
You guys need to scale down.
maybe
You guys are going all finish size.
go big or go home.
Hey, at least you guys are still in it.
Yep.
Oh, too soon? Too soon?
Try to be here for the long haul.
Hey, that's right. That's right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I
Give a
think we're
shout
good.
out to anybody.
Mom and Dad.
You're the OG.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah.
All right, cool beans. Well, this was episode 17, Drew Freeland, Vignette podcast. If you guys enjoyed this episode, give me a thumbs up, hit that like button. If you guys are watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Really appreciate it, Drew. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know it's kind of short notice, but
No, it's good. Thank you. It was
Yeah.
good. It was fun.
absolutely. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.